Die Gesichtserkennung funktioniert nicht mehr. Hallo, Kamera, ich bin's. Hey Rabbits, it's Trixie, and today I want to introduce another incredible German word to you. What makes it so incredible? The fact that it has countless meanings and can be used in so many different ways, without making one tiny change to it. No, simply depending on the context. When I stumbled over it, I was like, oh yeah, it means this and that. And you can find it here and there. It just never stopped. I kept finding more and more meanings and figured, oof, this is a nightmare for all non-Germans.
Will you finally tell us which word you're talking about? Gee, as if we don't have anything better to do than sitting at home and watching YouTube videos all day.
Anyway, of course I'm gonna tell you. This video is gonna deal with the German word Schlag. Der Schlag. I'd say its most general universal meaning is the hit. You know, as in hitting somebody or something with your hands or your fists. A punch, a blow, a spank, a bash, something along these lines. Something describing a physical impact. And the plural of Schlag is Schläge. Plural. I have my mouth full of marbles.
Wieso provokazierst du mich, Alter? Willst du Schläge kriegen?
So yeah, until here, der Schlag describes a rather painful experience. Physical violence, basically. But that's not all. On top of all, der Schlag can also be a figurative kick in the butt. What was that movement? A stroke of fate, for example, is der Schicksalsschlag. So an event that comes somewhat unexpected and crushes you, or at least affects your life negatively in a way. That can also be referred to as der Schlag. Sometimes people even very specifically say Schlag ins Gesicht or Schlag in die Magengrube, describing an affront or an otherwise unpleasant event. But most of the time, of course, no one literally beat them up. It's more like they got emotionally hurt or offended. It was a verbal attack or simply life that got them down on their knees.
Ich weiß, du bist gerade zu Hause mit euren 3 Kindern, weil Holger dich verlassen hat und musst nachts arbeiten, weil du sonst nicht weißt, wie du die Wohnung bezahlen sollst. Aber versetz dich bitte mal in meine Lage, ja?
Ich bin sonst jeden Freitag ins Nagelstudio gegangen. Und jetzt hat das einfach zu. Verstehst du, das ist ein harter Schlag für mich.
Klar, das verstehe ich.
I just used the expression stroke of fate, but as some of you may know, the word stroke can also be found in a medical context, and same applies to der Schlag. Therefore, a heat stroke is der Hitzschlag, and a stroke, the brain attack, is der Schlaganfall. One more time, where Schlag means the worst of luck. And we're still not done, because last but not least, there is der elektrische Schlag or der Stromschlag. Yup, you guessed it, that's an electric shock. If the context is obvious, then you don't even have to add Strom or elektrisch. Then it's enough to say einen Schlag bekommen or einen gewischt kriegen, to get one swiped. Don't ask me, but yeah, that's a thing.
Pass auf, dass du keinen Schlag bekommst.
Schatz, sollen wir nicht doch lieber den Elektriker anrufen?
Ach Quatsch, ich muss nur diesen Schalter hier.
Okay, vielleicht gibst du mir doch die Nummer. Now it also makes sense that a lightning strike is der Blitzschlag, right? I hope you never get hit by lightning. But have you ever einen gewischt gekriegt? Tell me in the comments what happened to you. Okay, but enough now with people getting hurt or even killed.
No.
Der Schlag can also describe something vitally important. Our heartbeat. Der Herzschlag.
Martin, mein Herzschlag ist viel schneller, wenn ich bei dir bin. Hast du eine Ahnung, woran das liegen könnte? Oh, akute Tachykardie. Vielleicht eine Schilddrüsenüberfunktion.
Ich date nie wieder einen Medizinstudenten. And it can be the stroke of a wing. Imagine a butterfly or a bird. Der Flügelschlag. Sometimes Schlag refers to the stroke of a bell too. These huge ones in a clock tower like Big Ben. Der Glockenschlag or Uhrschlag.
Harald, hör mal, der Glockenschlag. Ich liebe ja Glocken.
Ich auch. A quite prominent other meaning of der Schlag can be found in sports. More precisely, bat and ball games. For example, golf, tennis or baseball. When you hit the ball with the bat, that's der Schlag as well. So that was baseball, I guess. Let's try tennis. Wow, guter Schlag. Ich muss weg. Tschüss. That explains why a bat is called der Schläger in German. Be careful though, because if somebody tells you that they are ein Schlägertyp, that doesn't mean that they are into bat and ball games. It means that they like to beat people up. So der Schläger can also be a slang word for a very violent, aggressive person. Also, you should not confuse Schläger and Schlager, because that would also lead us back to bleeding ears and therefore physical pain. Interestingly, der Schlag can also mean type or kind of person. Der Menschenschlag.
YouTuber sind wirklich so ein komischer Menschenschlag. Schlimmer sind nur noch Podcaster. Zum Glück machst du den Mist nicht mit.
Actually, I wanted to have a podcast in German for a long time now, and to be honest, I started working on one with a close friend recently, so there might be a podcast soon, but it's still too early to announce anything, and I should definitely not tell the hater sidekick yet, so...
Uh-oh. I would say Menschenschlag is usually pretty contemptuous, unless you say it about yourself and you're kind of okay with others considering you a bit awkward. Die Ute und ich, wir sind vom selben Schlag, Mensch. It almost sounds like we are from the same tribe. The last two meanings of der Schlag both remind me of my childhood. Whenever we were eating mashed potatoes, my mom used to ask me, Na Svenja, möchtest du noch einen Schlag? Do you want another portion or another serving? That doesn't work with all kinds of food though. For some reason it has to be something with the consistency of a thick stew. Something mushy and doughy and mashed potatoey. And then of course, der Hosenschlag, my favorite fashion trend of the 2000s. All millennials will remember. Let's face it, when we were younger, most of us looked like this. We didn't wear skin-tight pants, oh no. We had flares. Pants, mostly jeans, that became wider downwards. The pant legs looked like freaking trumpets. But we loved it! I vividly remember teenage me searching for the widest pants I could find, running from one store to another because that was such a thing. Did it look stupid? Yes, it did. Was it practical? No, it wasn't! Especially because I had to go to school by bike. So I had to use rubber bands around my ankles to make sure that the pant legs wouldn't get into the spokes. And now guess who forgot to take them off every other day? Ah, good old times. I should buy a Tamagotchi again. But before we dive deeper and deeper into my teenage years, let me sum up what we learned about the German word der Schlag today and say it means a ton of things at once. And I hope that I was able to make you understand how to use it a little bit better. If so, yay, that's good news. The bad news is I merely touched the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this word. You know, by adding prepositions to der Schlag, Abschlag, Aufschlag, Umschlag, or by looking into other words that contain it, Schlagsahne, Ratschlag, Schlagfertig, you will find a crazy amount of additional meanings, or at least linguistic connections. Not to mention what you'll run into when you try to understand the verb schlagen. If you want me to make further videos about this topic, tell me in the comments. Schlag. It's simple, it's short, but it has a huge impact.
That's what he said.
What I mean is, it's a word that you should remember and learn its meanings step by step. I know it may seem overwhelming at first, but then again, hey, the more one word means, the less vocabulary you're gonna have to learn. Hey. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to Don't Trust the Rabbit for more videos like this one, and in case you want to support my channel even a bit more, you can also find me on Patreon. Now I wish you all a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!